Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to my first upload in my Medieval Kingdoms 12-12 tournament. All of the spaces have been filled. I've had a little bit of logistics problems with people that have dropped out, and I've had to scramble and find some new people. I get it, life is busy, it's not a problem, but we've almost got the first round completely finished, so I'm going to start uploading the videos for you guys now. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm not going to do my standard army comps, you know, with like the opening screen and such like that. We're just going to jump right into the battle and quickly overview the army comps, because I'm actually including all of the battles between two players in the first round in the same video. So to have it like cut, you know, 6 times between army comps and then battle, army comp, battle, it's just going to be too much. Just a general overview will be fine. And what I'll do is I'll actually screenshot and put the army comp picture in the video as well as we're going over the army comp. But we're basically just going to jump into battle 1, and then after that's done, jumping into battle 2, and then if there is a battle 3, we'll jump right into that as well. And it's all going to be contained within the same video. Now, for those of you guys that have not heard about my Medieval Kingdoms 12-12 tournament, I also won't be announcing like what the rules were and the money was and everything like that, because I've made a whole separate video for that, which will be part of this playlist. So I'm going to put all the videos in one playlist. I'll label it accordingly so you guys know exactly what it is. But basically, these videos that I'm having here are just going to be the battles, just straight battles. So, first up, we have AZRIEN Fox versus the Hunted, so let's jump into their first battle. Alright guys, so welcome to the first battle in this tournament. I'm really excited to get this started here, and we are looking at AZRIEN Fox's army first. Over here, he's playing as the Teutonic Order, so we'll just quickly look over his army here. So in the front line, he has 4 units of Schwalbrüder, which is a tier 1 melee infantry. Now, the Teutonic Order does have another, I think it's a tier 2 infantry unit, but they have 0 missile blocks, so the Schwalbrüder are actually a better choice in this situation when you want to protect against enemy archers. Speaking of archers, he's also bringing 4 units of these heavy crossbowmen of the High Period. And then he has some good cavalry as well. He's got some Hallebrüder, and he's got another one over there, and then another one on the other flank as well. And then scattered in and about his third line, he has 4 units of pikemen, and these are tier 3, so this is going to be a really tough nut to crack in the battle. And then last but not least, he has his general's bodyguard, who is facing just forwards over here. Let's get a zoom in on him. And this is the Grandmaster's Guard of the early period. So that's it for AZRIEN Fox's army. Let's go ahead and jump over to the Hunted's army. He is playing as Sweden, or the Kingdom of Sweden. And in the front lines, he's got 4 units of Hanseatic infantry, which is a good crossbow unit for Sweden. And then he has 4 units of Spear Bondier. And then for his halberds, he has 1 unit of Atgeir Herdman, which is the tier 1 halberd. And then he has 2 units of the mercenary men-at-arms, which are tier 3. And then for his melee infantry, he's going with 4 units of Huskarls. These guys are you know, axe infantry, but they're classified as swordsmen, so tier 1 swordsmen. So they're going to be kind of on the same playing field as the Schwalbrüder, except they probably have better melee attack. But that's it for his infantry. Looking at his cavalry, he's got a couple units of Swedish knights over on this flank here. And then he has 1 all the way on the other side as well. And for his general, he has a unit of Swedish knights. And that would be the general right there moving forwards. So that's pretty much it for the 2 attackers. And it looks like they are starting to move forward. So let's go ahead and put play here. Or press play, not put play. So it'll be interesting to see if the Hunted can actually use his Spear Bondier effectively. If they're focused down by the crossbows as they're walking into melee like this, there probably won't be too many of them left for the actual holding phase. However, at least the Hunted brought some decent crossbows, so they should be able to combat the Teutonic Order's crossbows. I don't actually know, are they both tier 2? Yes, they're both tier 2 crossbowmen. The only thing is that the Schwabruder actually do have shield wall. You can see AZRIEN Fox is moving them forwards in shield wall. So if the Hunted goes to focus his infantry with the crossbows, he probably won't get too many kills. Actually, we could tell right now what the missile block will be. Yeah, so it's 75. So I don't know if that applies the actual shield wall bonus on there or not. I'm assuming it does, but that is pretty decent for a melee unit to have 75 missile block. But looks like AZRIEN Fox has pushed one of his units of Halbruder up into the trees to face the Swedish Knights that are over here on the flank. He also has his pikemen very close by, so he's actually not using them, it looks like, to be in the front lines. He does have 2 in reserve that he can push in when he needs to, but he's also peeling off a unit on either flank to help win him the cavalry engagement. And the Hunted only has 3 units of halberds, so he's definitely outnumbered as far as the halberd / pike is concerned. The maximum was 4, so he could have brought 4, but he may have just not had enough funding to do that. But it looks like we may have a bit of a skirmish phase here. Not exactly sure. The Spearbondir are not in spear wall yet, but unfortunately for the Hunted, it looks like he's actually pushing a few of his Huskarls up here, and that's a little bit concerning, because if AZRIEN focuses those Huskarls, you can see they only have 25 missile blocks, so they will be utterly destroyed by crossbows. So it'll be interesting to see. It looks like the Hunted is pushing pretty hard on this flank, though, so he's kind of... It doesn't look like he's going to commit too much to the actual middle fight. He's more interested in really winning on the flanks. And it looks like AZRIEN Fox over here is going to try to get some early charges off on the crossbows. I'm not sure if the Hunted is going to see this in time. It looks like it's almost too late now. He is going to get a decent amount of kills on that cavalry as they charge in, though. And then actually the Spearbondir moving in quite quickly to help out. Over here, though, it looks like we've got another unit of Halbruder that's just gone right past the Swedish Knights. They're probably going to get a nice charge, actually, into the Huskarls. No, pulling away at the last second, but a huge volley from the Hunted's Spearbondir, I believe that was, and then pinning the Halbruder in place with the Swedish Knights. So AZRIEN has already lost his cavalry very early on. However, the Hunted's Spearbondir are breaking while wavering to the Teutonic Order's crossbows. Nothing is going over on this flank, though. It seems to be pretty calm. But it looks like AZRIEN Fox is just going to let the Spearbondir move into his crossbows. Now, I don't know how well these heavy crossbows will do in melee. Their melee stats are pretty garbage, so I think that this Spearbondir actually does have a chance of breaking some of the crossbows, but not if some are moved onto the flank like it looks like AZRIEN Fox is doing right now. But yeah, we've already got some fighting. I don't want to zoom in too much and commit to that because I don't want to miss anything that's happening on the flanks. I actually don't know most of the results of all of these battles too, guys. I'm doing it pretty much blind, so I kind of want to be surprised to see who wins these engagements. But AZRIEN Fox is already looking pretty rough. He's lost about 300 men, and most of his cavalry, like I said, he's only got 2 units left. But yes, so here's some mistakes, it looks like, or maybe the Hunted isn't directly focusing them, but I saw that some of the Schwarbruder were under missile fire, and that's just a waste of his ammo. I wouldn't really want to be doing that. I would be focusing these crossbows if I could, but these pikemen are actually breaking, so I would 100% be focusing on this unit of pikemen with my crossbows if I could, and that looks exactly like what the Hunted is doing right now. But I see some Swedish Knights pushing through the trees here. That's a little bit concerning. There's some pikemen here that are trying to zone out the enemy cavalry, but there's just too many units over here. He's going to have to probably get his general over here very soon. Some of his archers actually getting charged in the side here, as well as a side charge on the Schwarbruder that are in melee. So that's kind of the best way to attack them, either from the side or from behind. But the Hunted does have some pikemen closing in. However, we've got some Huskarls actually chasing them across the battlefield. And yeah, kind of cutting them down as they move into melee. I think AZRIEN's trying to ignore them. He really just wants to get his pikemen in behind the general. But these Huskarls will 100% break those pikemen. if he's not careful. The general is close, I think. Oh, no, that's just a unit, another unit of Schwabruder. But over here as well, some of the pikemen just getting shredded by crossbow fire as they move slowly into melee. Yeah, I think he's going to try and rush them into melee, but things are not looking good so far. And here comes the Huskarls from the Hunted. He is pushing them through the lines of the crossbows to deal with the pikemen. I would try and stop the pikes and get their pikes down right away. Oh my goodness, that Pila throw, though, was just disgusting. But there we go. This is where the pikemen are going to do pretty well against the Huskarls, just because they have pretty low armor as well. It's more about them being used as a shock troop. So, high melee attack and melee damage, but low armor, I believe. They don't have too much armor if we jump out of here. But look at this. The pikemen are actually wavering over here, which is pretty insane. But yeah, the armor is 30 and missile block 25, so that's pretty low. But we've got some of the Schwabruder now pushing into melee. A lot of his archers, though, are wavering, which is a little bit concerning. And looks like the pikemen have been broken over here. And we've got the mercenary men-at-arms, 2 units here that are pushing into melee. But the balance of power is definitely with the Hunted right now. We've got the General's Bodyguard also having to charge in over on that left flank as well. Let's get a nice zoom in here. This is the one thing that's good about the tournaments. This is just 1v1, and it's a pretty low man count, so we don't really have any frame drop in whatsoever here. But the Schwabruder seem to be doing pretty well against the Spear Bombardier, forcing their way through. Let's go see how this general is doing over here. I think that we've got some mercenary men-at-arms charging here. Yes, we do, except the pikemen in this little formation here have actually managed to mitigate that charge of the mercenary men-at-arms. The only problem is that the Grandmaster's Guard is surrounded. He's actually in the center there as well, you can see. Stabby, stabby. Let's not linger there too much. I want to see what else is going on, too. It looks like that unit of pikemen did return, and the balance of power is creeping back in AZRIEN Fox's favor. The man count almost even now, which is crazy. The Schwabruder actually breaking right through that center line. The Hunted only had a few units of his Spear Bombardier there, so that's obviously a unit that's not going to hold in melee for very long. Over here, too, it looks like the Swedish Knights are breaking, or wavering at very least, to the pikemen. Looks like we've got some of the cavalry here that we're waiting for an opportune moment to charge in. There we go. So the Hunted's general has been slain now, so actually coming back into AZRIEN's favor, which is really surprising, considering he lost most of his cav early on there. But unfortunately, it looks like the Hunted has his Hanseatic infantry in melee against the Halbruder. So I don't even think they were able to use most of their ammo. And we've also got some of the Schwabruder charging in from behind, kind of to seal the fate of these crossbows. And there we go, they have broken. And we got some men-at-arms here fighting the Halbruder. Oh, there we go, taken down. So what is left over here? Looks like AZRIEN does have 3 units of his crossbows left. Most of his cav is destroyed, but his Schwabruder actually holding the line there. A lot of them getting some pretty decent kills. And the general actually survived as well. He managed to pull his general out of melee, and now these Swedish Knights are actually charging into the pikemen. So I think the Hunted realizes that this is a loss. So the rest of his poor knights are just going to try and escape off the battlefield today. But yeah, so very successful battle for the Hunted, or sorry, for AZRIEN Fox. The Hunted is down 1, so let's just quickly take a look at the results before we go on to the next battle. So AZRIEN Fox actually had 200 less men, but look at those pikes. This one, not at all, but that's probably what made it there. That, I would say, and the Schwadbrüder that just punched right through the lines and kind of separated his forces. He did lose his 2 units of cavalry early on, but this one's still getting 210 kills. Meanwhile, it looks like, yeah, not bad kills from the Spear Bombardier there, but the Mercenary Men-at-Arms, one of them only 11 kills. This unit of Huskarls 140, which is solid, and the Hanseatic Infantry doing surprisingly well there. So that's it for the first battle, so it's 1-0 for AZRIEN, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Alright guys, so welcome to the second battle between AZRIEN Fox and the Hunted. So AZRIEN is up 1 right now. So the Hunted, if he loses this battle, he is out of the tournament, and AZRIEN will move on to the second round. So for AZRIEN Fox's army, he is playing as the Bazard Voivode, or Vovode, I don't know 100% how to pronounce it. But he's got 4 units of Vlach crossbowmen of the High Period. And then behind he's got 4 units of Mosneni. Or Mosneni? It's just it's a High Period axe unit, basically. I think a couple of them did have swords, maybe. No, they've all got axes. And then in behind that, he's got 4 units of these Mosneni spearmen. Now, these guys are classified as pikes, but as you can see by their reach, that the spears are much shorter than traditional pikemen. So he has 4 of them. And then he's gone very light on the cav. He's got 1 unit of Vitier here, or Vitegier, but it's a tier 3 cavalry unit. And he also, oh, that's his Mosneni that we already talked about. And then for his general, he's got the Voivode of Walesia. And I think that's this brilliant general here in the green and yellow. And that is pretty much for his forces. So let me just confirm 2, 3, 4. So he actually has 5 units of Mosneni. Sorry, I did say 4, but it is 5. And actually, he has 6. So let's update that once more. Scratch everything I said about the Mosneni of the early period earlier. He has 6. 6 units of swords, 4 units of the pikemen, 4 units of crossbows, and 2 units of cav, including his general. Going over to the Hunted, he is playing as the 2nd Bulgarian Tsardom. And in the front lines, he again is going for spears rather than pikes, so he's got 4 units of the Bulgarian heavy spearmen, and these are tier 2. And then he's going for heavy archers. He's got tier 2 heavy archers, so that's going to be a bit of a problem for AZRIEN because he has a limited amount of cavalry, and he's also brought crossbows, so he's going to have to move well into range of the archers just to get a few shots off. So we'll see how he deals with that. And let's see, he's got some Bulgarian swordsmen here. He's got 2 on this flank, and I'd assume he has 2 on the other. Yes, he does, so 4 total. And then he is bringing more cavalry, so we've got the General's Bodyguard here, which is a Boyar. And there's the General with his mace. And then he's got 3 units of Condottieri, which is an Italian cavalry, I believe. So it's surprising that this faction can feature that. I would imagine maybe they're mercenaries of some kind. But yeah, tier 3 cavalry. So this is pretty much where all of the Hunted's money has gone, because I think this cavalry is 1,000 florins or more, maybe. I think it might be 1,100. So he definitely has the cavalry advantage, and he has the archer advantage. But AZRIEN does hold the melee advantage with the 6 Mosneni of the early period plus his Mosneni spearmen, which are tier 3, by the way. But we've actually got some movement forward here, so the Hunted, he recognizes probably that he does have an advantage in range. So he's moving forwards his heavy archers pretty quickly off the bat. We'll just zoom down and let you guys watch them marching forwards. Can even end zoom in there. I like the shields for Bulgaria as well. They're very colorful, which is nice. And then he's also moving his spears forward in shield wall. So just walking them very slowly. He's definitely interested in protecting his men from the Vlach crossbowmen, which can do quite a significant amount of damage. Now, let's take a look at the stats for these spears here. They're probably pretty solid, I would imagine. Yeah, they've got 60 missile block while they're in shield wall or spear wall. Pretty low on the melee attack, I believe, and melee damage, but they are spears, so that's pretty normal. But 76 melee defense and 46 armor, so it's pretty solid. Not too bad. And it looks like AZRIEN Fox is also moving his army forwards as well, but he's kind of peeling more towards this right flank because he's watching the Boyar with the Condottieri. I don't know... Oh, yes, and it looks like these two units have actually made it all the way around the flank into the trees. But we've got a unit of Mosneni Spears over here that's going to try and keep them zoned out for long enough until the battle is over. But the Hunted's archers should be in range pretty soon. And it looks like AZRIEN was going to move his unit of Viteji, or Vitier, into try and push the archers back, but they would have gotten destroyed, so it's a good call that he didn't send them forwards. Or is he sending them forwards? No, he's not. He's holding them there, which is good. But it looks like he's had to form a bit of a rear vanguard here because the Condottieri have completely flanked all the way around. This is a bit of an issue for AZRIEN because now he's not a mobile army anymore. He's not a mobile force. He's kind of locked into this one position. Anytime he does move out like this with his cavalry, there's just so much more cavalry that can keep him from getting really anything done. But we'll see if he does. You never know. He's a very good player, so he could get a good charge on these Bulgarian swordsmen. But the archers are actually focusing them down as of right now. Oh, yeah, he's going to get caught, I think, by these swords. No, actually. He's actually gotten through. And he's going right for the heavy archers. So going right around the Hunted swordsmen to get after the archers. Very good move there. And actually getting a little bit of a rear charge into these spears. But unfortunately, they're definitely going to be slaughtered very quickly by the remaining archers. But it looks like not before he charges into the rear lines of the Hunted's heavy archers as well over towards the left flank. Now, did he rout that unit of archers? He did not, unfortunately. It's still there. But here we go, actually getting a really decent charge on these Mosneni and completely surrounding them, actually. They were in shield wall, but that's really not going to save them. And the Mosneni spears here, he is going to try and reinforce that unit with his spears. But unfortunately, the more men that he commits, the more chances of this other unit of Condottieri being able to do something. Because his lines have kind of split now, which is a little bit concerning. But the Hunted's probably going to get his Condottieri out just in time before the Mosneni spears can even form up. Did he even lose any? Yeah, he's lost a couple of them to the crossbows, I think, are firing down. But yeah, now the crossbows are being able to get some shots off, which is good. So they aren't running around anymore. So I think they are trying to focus these spearmen. They're actually getting a decent amount of kills on them, surprisingly. And yeah, actually a lot of the Condottieri lost there. Down to 51 men from this unit of Vlach crossbowmen firing on them.
They're not done yet.
But this is interesting. Oh, we've got some of these Bulgarian swordsmen in wedge formation, so they're going to try and charge right through the... I think these are the Mosneni, just the standard melee infantry. But that's going to give them a pretty big bonus for fighting in melee. However, it does make them susceptible, or more susceptible, to archer fire. But luckily, he got them into melee very quickly on. So you can see the wedge, he's got less speed and less missile block, but he's bumped up his charge bonus and his morale. And I think it does give bonuses to melee attack. Yes, it does. But yeah, there you go. You can kind of see what happens when you don't get them in quickly enough. Getting some really nice shots there, but look at that. The Condottieri pinning them from both sides. Oops, sorry, I'm jumping the camera around here because I'm trying not to miss anything, but AZRIEN Fox very quickly moves his Mozneni spears to block this flank. So the Hunted is not able to pierce into this little formation with all of his cavalry, but it looks like we got the general actually charging in here against the Voivode of Valencia. They're both tier 2, though, and this unit of Mozneni is definitely dead. Not a chance of them surviving that charge. What do we have? Oh, but he does have another unit of Mozneni spearmen that are holding here. I would watch that cavalry, though, charging into the flanks charging into the spears like that. But here we go. It looks like the Condottieri are trying to make a break to get through the crossbows, but oh yeah, a lot of them getting slaughtered there. A couple of them actually getting a decent charge. Only 3 of them making it onto the lines, though. The rest have routed. So it really comes down now to AZRIEN's front line. If his front line doesn't hold, then he's lost this battle. But unfortunately, there's a fresh unit of Condottieri right here. The 2 generals are in melee, but it looks like AZRIEN's general is losing to the Boyars. They are silver chevrons in the upgrades, whereas the Voivode of Valencia is not upgraded whatsoever. So the Condottieri are going into the crossbows, which is a good target. And over here, the Mozneni spears are also having a bit of issue. I think that the heavy archers are focusing them. But we've got some fierce fighting here in the front lines. But I think the Bulgarian swordsmen are more heavily armored, so eventually they will win the day. And how are we looking over here? And wow, that other unit of Condottieri has been broken. And this is a big problem for the Hunted. His general is actually sandwiched between the Mozneni spearmen and the Voivode of Valencia. So the battle may be turning back into his favor, although this unit of Condottieri has returned from routing. Unfortunately, though, the crossbows are just going to finish it off. I don't even think that the Hunted is aware that that unit of crossbows has come back yet. And look at this, the Bulgarian swordsmen are actually breaking to the might of the Mozneni. Like, what is going on here? And the Bulgarian heavy spearmen also breaking. Like, the heavy archers need to be getting some more kills here. Here we go, though. It looks like we've got some Bulgarian heavy spearmen that are hopefully going to save the general from an almost certain death. The Mozneni spearmen that AZRIEN had over here, though, did turn around to fight the Bulgarian spearmen, so that the Hunted, unfortunately, didn't get a flank on them. So it pretty much depends on whose general dies first here. And there's the green and yellow general. I believe that is the Hunted's general, if I remember correctly. Or no, that is not. That I think that's AZRIEN's general. But, oh, there we go. So it looks like the Voivode of Valencia has broken. He is still alive, though, right now. He is right there. But now we've got some of the Mozneni spearmen actually fighting the general's bodyguard. That is not good. Oh, and the other general... Oh, yes, sorry, that is AZRIEN Fox's general is dead. So he's going to try and get his general out of there and charge back in with the Bulgarian heavy spearmen. But the balance of power is very even. It looks like AZRIEN does have a few more men. But it's really these heavy archers that are going to win the Hunt of the day. And actually, a lot of his men have shattered now that the general is dead. A lot of the Vlok crossbowmen are gone. We've got some of the Mozneni spearmen actually wavering as well. going on over there. Oh, yeah, so it looks like AZRIEN is still fighting to the last man, breaking again the Bulgarian swordsman and actually engaging the heavy archers in melee. However, the Bulgarian swordsmen have been broken here. Unfortunately, his spears have been broken, but he's about to get a nice sandwich on this unit of spears. And he's riskily charging these Mosneni spears. It doesn't look like they formed up in time because they're still chasing down the routing Bulgarians. But actually, that general did manage to break them, so excellent job by the Hunted there. And it looks like the Hunted actually might pull through here and push a third battle. Yeah, looks like that's what's going to be the case. Only 3 units of Mosneni of the early period are still surviving, with one of them wavering. I'm shocked at these heavy archers, though. They are holding in melee. Oh, and here comes the general's bodyguard. That's going to be a huge charge there. Oh, yeah, just obliterating that unit. I think he did try to turn it around to soak up the charge, but it was just too much. And there we go. Valiant defeat. So AZRIEN is defeated in this battle. So we're now 1v1. So we've got one more battle to show to you guys. But look at the kills from that cavalry. 226, 230. General getting 142. Some really high kills from the heavy archers. So that's pretty much what saved the day for the Hunted. Good kills on the Mosneni spears, though, these 2 units, but the general only getting 3 kills, even though he was in melee against the enemy general for so long. But pretty impressed with this Mosneni. Really high kills, over 100 for almost all of them. And not bad on the crossbows and the Viteji. But, yeah, so that is the second battle, so let's go ahead and head to the tiebreaker. Alright guys, so welcome to the third and final battle in this round between AZRIEN Fox and the Hunted. And the AZRIEN Fox is playing as the Cuman Khanate, so he's bringing an Eastern faction today to the battle. And he's got a lot of these heavy macemen here. I'm just going to double check the count. 2, 4, 6, 8 units of the heavy macemen, tier 2. And then he has a unit of Cuman bandits here, so he probably had a little bit of extra money left over to get this light infantry unit. He also has 4 units of Bay Archers. And then for his cavalry, he's actually gone with Skirmisher Cavalry. So he has 3 units of the Heavy Horse Archers, 2 on this side and 1 on the other. And then way over here, he's got his General's Bodyguard, who is a Master Horse Archer. And I guess he himself didn't bring his bow to the battle today, but that is him nonetheless. So interesting army composition. I guess he kind of wants to be able to skirmish down the enemy from afar. Now the Hunted, again, going for a similar strategy in the last battle with a really, really good cav and spears to kind of hold the line. He's playing as the Duchy of Pomerania. And he's got a bunch of these archer sergeants here in the front line, 4 units of them. And then he has 4 units of spear sergeants, tier 1. Or sorry, scratch that, he has 6 units of spear sergeants, but 4 units of these heavy macemen here, or heavy axemen. So they'll be going toe-to-toe with the heavy macemen at some point, I'm sure. And then over here for his cavalry, he has 3 units of Polish Knights of the late period, tier 3. And then his general's bodyguard, who is riding away over here, is the Polish king of the late period. And I'm not sure, but I would imagine he would be the one with the white cloak, wherever he went. Or is this him in the front? Yeah, he does have a sword, so that's probably him right there in the front. Oh, yes, he does have the white cloak, as I thought. Excellent. So it looks like both armies are going to be deploying over to this left-hand side. I believe that is because the Cumans kind of have this really good hill advantage. Now, I left the maps kind of open for everyone to just choose the map that they kind of like to play on. The only thing is that it has to be a fair advantage for both players. So I think that's why they're moving a little bit over here so that it's a little more of an even slope. Still is a bit uphill for the Hunted, though. So, and it looks like the AZRIEN, he is deploying further down the slope just to make it a little bit more fair. So that is good to see. But this battle must not be very long. It must just be like a blitz battle. Both of them just charge into melee, kind of winner takes all. But the thing is that these heavy macemen are actually quite cheap, but they're very, very solid in melee. Very solid. Well, we're just waiting for everybody to form up here. I'm going to go ahead and just put this on fast forward really quick, because I'm sure you guys don't really have any interest in watching these guys slowly move into melee. But yes, there we go. So that's a pretty even playing ground there. Very nice. And only 5 minutes, 6 minutes basically left in this battle, which is kind of funny. But we've got the archer sergeants spreading out in a nice long line. Again, the hunted going with the extra range, but looks like AZRIEN has also brought archers, so they should have the same amount of range. The only thing that AZRIEN has that the hunted does not is the heavy horse archers. And they're going to be very quick, so they should probably be able to outrun these Polish knights here if we take a look at their speed. Speed is 70 for the knights, and where's the speed here? Am I blind? Or do they not have speed for the horse archers? That's kind of strange. I guess they don't have it, or it just doesn't fit because they have to add all the missile stats in. But I would be shocked if these heavy horse archers weren't faster than the heavily armored knights of Poland. But let's see what's going on here. AZRIEN Fox has put all of his heavy macemen into shield wall. And it looks like he's going to be pushing forwards his Bay archers now to get into range to start firing down on the archer sergeants. I'm seeing some movement from the hunted side, so I'm assuming that he's doing the exact same thing. Oh yes, here we go. And maybe I'm wrong. Do these Bay archers not have the same range? Range 150, archer sergeants, range 200. Wow, okay, so actually looks like AZRIEN Fox needs to move his archers a little bit closer. So the archer sergeants are going to get a few free volleys off. However, if he's focusing anything but these archers, he's not going to get many kills. These macemen do have pretty good stats. You can see, yeah, 105 while they're in shield wall, so you're basically wasting ammo at that point firing into them. Well, let's see what's going on. Looks like we got some of the Cuman Raiders coming in here. Not sure if they're waiting to charge in or if he's just going to try and use them as cannon fodder. But here we go. We got the General and the late Polish Knights going after the heavy horse archers, but look how slow they move, and then those heavy horse archers just take off out of here. But it looks like the Polish Knights are just going to go straight for the heavy infantry that is in spear wall, or shield wall, sorry. And looks like they mostly held there, but oh yeah, that volley actually getting a lot of friendly fire there. But as the cavalry pulls away, you can just see how much of it is getting cut down going after those Cuman bandits. I think that was a good move by AZRIEN to be able to peel this very expensive unit away so that they can be fired upon from the flanks. I think the hunted has realized his mistake, though, and he's quickly moving his infantry into melee. How are we doing on the other side with that cavalry as well? Yeah, kind of just being a bit of an annoyance over here. Moving forwards towards the archer sergeants. The Polish Knights from the trees have been activated, though, but not before we get a charge from the heavy horse archers into the archer sergeants. And there we go. The hunted has already lost his general very quickly on. I don't know exactly where that would be. He was over on this side here. Where did his general die is what I'm wondering. He must have just run right across. He was probably trying to get around to go after the horse archers. But we've got the Master Horse Archers in melee against the Archer Sergeants, but some of the Polish Knights are trying to chase him down. Also, another unit of Archer Sergeants are focusing the enemy general, but these Cuman Macemen are holding easily against the Spear Sergeants here. And that early loss of the General's bodyguard is probably going to be the Hunted's ticket out of the tournament, unfortunately. But that is a hard-fought battle. Or a hard-fought number of battles, actually. Oh, yeah, just... these archers are just slaughtering this Polish cavalry. And with the general dead, yeah, look at the balance of power has gone way into AZRIEN's favor. A massive man advantage as well. But like I said, guys, these Macemen are solid. They hold. But wow, actually losing his own general there. Kind of like just the last hurrah from the Duchy of Pomerania, slaying the enemy general before breaking and fleeing the battlefield. So there you have it, guys. This is the first of the tournament videos to come out. I'm going to try and do 3 of them this week, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Who knows, I might be able to get some more done. But I'd also kind of like to have some of my regular content on the channel too, so I'm going to try and get maybe a Warhammer battle out this week and maybe a Napoleon battle as well. But it is a clear victory for the Cumans here. The heavy horse archers just slamming into the backs of these spearmen that are still holding, completely surrounding the last of them, and there we go, a decisive victory. So let's end the replay and take a look at these results here. Yeah, 150 kills by that general's bodyguard, so before he died, he definitely did a fair amount of work. The Macemen taking barely any damage, the Bay Archers getting some solid kills there. And the Horse Archers, not so many kills, but they did their job of kind of annoying the Hunted and distracting him. But 6 kills, and the Polish king was slain. That is sad. Sad for the Polish king dying that way. One of the knights getting 119, but the other 2 getting cut down pretty quickly. His Archer Sergeant's not getting many kills at all. And yeah, pretty much all of his units, unfortunately, not getting many kills. So, yes, like I said before, guys, I hope you are enjoying the tournament so far. It is well underway. Like I said, most of the first round ones are finished, so I will be getting those out to you guys pretty quickly. And I will be starting the second round, hopefully, by this weekend. So, thanks very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. And I will see you in the next one.